Did you see what I sent you, Joe? Did you see the topic? Isn't that what you did this afternoon?
Yeah, it is.
Yep. And it's always this is one of the main suspects that always steal your topics.
It's all good. It's all good. It just makes me know I do good content, boy. I swear. Come up with
You know,
let's
Well, when I start my channel,
the
I'm stealing everybody's
movement
shit.
should give you more credit. Is all I'm saying.
no. It's
When I start my channel, I'm stealing everybody's shit.
at least you
I'm
are.
wait, and a few minutes later, I'm going live.
And but that's
with that shit.
but that's literally what he does though. That's literally what he does every
Who is
time.
he? Who is
Who
he
does
that
who?
you?
He went live. It's not important.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get it cracking. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to BMT Blackmail Talk. You're here with an amazing cast. I've been grabbing people that I wanted with different diversities, different mind specs, different experiences to come on. And let's talk about something I think that we can discuss in fairness. Something fun, but something in all fairness. Everybody likes sex, don't you? So do I. I mean, why not? So, I mean,
Yo,
if that's what you do, then why not do it and get paid for it? Don't y'all think so? I mean,
yeah,
it ain't free if you got it.
yeah.
So I think that this is something that we got going on. If you like the soundful music in the background, that's by the lovely songstress and queen to me of R&B right now. It's Jill Scott. Does she have that title?
No, that's Mary J.
Mary J still got it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Mary J.
Yeah,
will always be that. Yeah.
I had to find out. So I guess she ain't got it yet. But in my eyes, she's the queen of R&B. I'm sorry, Mary J. She falls on and off, but Jill hasn't had a bad.
Mary J. be popping when she gets out of a bad relationship.
Okay, so we got to wait for Mary J. to get her ass beat for her to get a comeback.
Basically, yeah.
We ain't gotta wait for that for Jill. Jill just does it, and then boom, it's good. Like she can't mess up. So
Isn't she married?
She is or what? I think they split up.
No, it was too messy. Like, good luck marrying Jill Scott. That's a hurricane. But so the topic that we're going to be having tonight, and a lot of y'all can definitely get in on this one. If you do want to come on, we do welcome you. I did send out to certain people. I know they're doing different shows and content, but the show is New York could be the first to decriminalize sex work. Is this good? Is this good for the Black community? I want your opinion on how you feel about that. What's going on, Robert? As you guys come on in, we're already going to do a pre-recording. You already know the old channel is down, but we still got a secondary channel, so that way we'll do this recording. We'll put it on the bigger channel. I've just been busy with a lot of stuff, but other than that, we're still pressing forward. So the question is, New York is literally going to be the first state to ever fully sex work will be, you can't get in trouble for it. I mean, they see you on the corner, you out there, hey, what are you doing? I'm selling coochie. Oh, okay. Carry on.
Maybe it's a dude that wants to sell his penis.
Well, what about this thing? Wouldn't that be in cahoots with the abortion thing? Isn't they trying to illegalize the abortion? Aren't they trying to make you can't get an abortion now? No, right?
Not in New York. You can get an abortion in New York.
In New York, actually, the one in New York, you can get it up to what, like the late term to get it done.
It's late term. However, the late term is to be clear, Joe. You know, I corrected you on this one. Mm-hmm. To be clear, it was late term abortions are only in the case of if the pregnancy was not viable for either the mother or the child.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, learn something new. I'm glad we clarified that. As you guys are coming on in, like the video, support the channel, guys. We do have some interesting people on, some good guests, and we definitely want to talk about this. So let's get it over. Ladies first. Jay, as far as it goes to the selling of sex, do you
selling the pussy?
Do you think this is a good move for everyone?
Sure, why not? I mean, women sell pussy for free. Women sell pussy anyway.
Okay.
And I mean that in a literal and figurative sense. So.
Okay. All right. let me go ahead and pass it over to Mario. Again, check out Mario. He does his own show of Emerald Pill. So we have Mario. Mario, what's going on, man? Do you think that selling of sex is possibly the best thing that can happen for the black community?
Of course they should. I don't understand who made it illegal in the first place, right? It's been going on since the 60s and the 50s and the 40s.
Right before
And people and men, predominantly white males, and yellows the crackers, okay? And so, can I say the word cracker on your show?
say you can say yeah, you can say crack.
Caucasoid. Can I say caucasoid? Because let's say caucasoid.
Okay.
They've been doing it.
6F is usually a better option, but anyway, go ahead.
And they've been doing it since all the way back then. Okay, they had to ban it in certain areas in America because of the diseases, the STDs. So the thing is that they starting to create abortion. Abortion is starting to be illegal. It's going to be illegal eventually. As you can't do it after late term, after the baby. Eventually, it's going to stop because it's going to be too many abominations. Okay. I'm sorry, getting the Frank. I'm getting the
Getting ahead of yourself. To calm
but,
down. Got you.
okay. You need to understand that this prostitution is going on way back then, and they're going to eventually stop it from happening because something is going to get out of hand. It's going to be an abomination, like STDs and too many babies being born. Once that happens, they're going to shut it off again. Who's shutting it off? That's my question. Who's shutting it on and off? Right? Right?
Did you know that the birth rate is the lowest that it's been in 32 years? So I don't know what abortion has to do with prostitution. But anyway, go ahead.
We're having a lot of babies nowadays. That's blasphemy.
The birth rate is the lowest that it's been in 32 years. STDs is the lowest that it's been in forever. All of that stuff. But I don't know how that's relevant to prostitution, but go ahead.
Listen,
well, I'm just saying that when things get out of control, they start to ban it. They start to ban it. When things get out of control. That's all I'm saying.
Abortions aren't out of control. The abortion rate has been the lowest that it's been in at least 15 years, I believe.
Really? God dang, Jay.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, so let me pass it on. Let me pass it on to Q, and we have our honored guest, Irene. Irene taught me how to love my body and make daisy salad out of the fields and the trees and shit. So I got Irene here also. Q, you've been on this walk of earth for a while. You've seen stuff. Do you think that, hey, by legalizing sex work, is that probably going to be one of the best come ups for the black community? I mean, we got a lot of people out there and brothers. Hey,
in my opinion, I would say no, and here's why I would say no. Because that would, in my opinion, give an easy out to the younger generation that's coming up, the me now generation. In other words, what if I could go out there and sell my body, right, as a young woman or a young man, and I could make a feasible living off of that in a city like New York, right? Of course, the pounding and the all of that stuff would take a toll on you after some time, but you could probably make a lot of money. And then what'll happen is you will have here's what'll happen. You will have people that will try and put a monopoly on it. The pimps will come back out, right? Now you're gonna have, a lot of the pimp game will get strong, and then it will take the black culture, black society, I believe, back um, 10 steps. Because now, as a young woman, when I hit 18 years of age or 17 or whatever the age is that they're going to say it's legal for you to do it, which will probably be 18, or I believe that the legal age limit to have sex in New York is 16 or 17, right? So now think about all the young ladies and young men, predominantly young women, who will forego trying to carve out a niche other than selling their bodies forward, giving up on school, giving up on trying to have a career, or giving up on trying to receive some, get an education. The sister already said that abortions are low. We know that the marriage rate is extremely low. We know that the STDs are low. So I believe that it will have a negative impact over a course of time within the black community, because it's going to spread. They need to make babies. Not just black babies or white babies or Asian babies, but America itself needs. We have to have a certain amount of children born in order for the society or the country to support itself. Period. That's what happened during the baby boom generation. You
Okay.
know, people came back, and that's how the baby boom generation happened. After the war, everybody came back. It was, hey, let's get the population up, and then it had an explosion, and that's why they call it the baby boom generation. It was after World War II, I believe, that happened. World War One or World War One,
World
I
War
believe.
Two. It was 1945
45.
is
Yes.
this, yeah, to
Thank you.
1952, something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
That's our
Thank you,
research.
sister.
So let
So,
me.
yeah, and to wrap it up real quick in summary, yeah, I believe that would not be, uh, and I'll go into reason why, because of some of the places I've been, and who have that institution set forth in their country. So I'll hopefully, if we have time and if you like, I will go into that to tell you what I've experienced being in Europe and being in Italy and Germany and Prague, and seeing how prostitution plays a havoc on those countries.
So so let me pass it over to Irene. Irene, are you there? There? I don't think she's
I'm here.
okay. Are you sick?
I'm making red beans and low
Red beet.
country rice though.
I say, God dang, Susie Homemaker right over there. God damn. Lord, if I don't see Irene in heaven, then I know I'm back in hell. All right, yo. So the question is, Irene, one of the
hmm
greatest things that have happened in America for men. This is good. This is something good that now you won't see all these men on YouTube anymore, Irene. They won't be attacking you. Is this a good thing for the black community that they're going to look at legalizing sex work in New York statewide?
Well, I think when we think of prostitution globally, we think of the red light district, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually shutting that district down. So
Why?
yeah, because it it ruined their city and it increased sex trafficking, which was exactly the opposite of what they hoped. So they're slowly shutting the brothels down. So I would have to ask, like, if it didn't work for white women, why do we think it's going to work for us?
We're
Um,
haters.
Now, with that said, I think it'll harm the Black community. A lot of things come with prostitution, such as sex trafficking. We've seen that in places with legal prostitution. We've seen that in places with no legalized prostitution. And Black girls are sex trafficked at a high rate. They're already sexually abused at a high rate. 60% of Black women are sexually abused as children, including our boys. And then also, we also have the second highest rates of sexually transmitted diseases, and the only group that has more disease are gays. And so I just really don't think adding additional promiscuity and sexualization to that is going to help our community. It's going to open up the door for a lot of exploitation and health issues. And just as a woman, it's going to further dehumanize women, which I think is problematic because we're dehumanized enough as it is. We don't need to throw this on top of it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Man, I really don't got nothing back to say for that. All right. So let me go ahead and get to it. But I like to. I don't want to just spout off at the mouth on stuff. I like to read the article and actually give you all the work. As you guys are coming on in, please like the video, support the channel, support the content. I want these people who are doing the content, I want them to be able to grab this content and take it over to their channel. So please support them, support the people who are going over this. The article that we're grabbing is from CBS News. I wanted to grab it from them originally. I wanted to grab it from them and try not to be too biased. And I grabbed it from another perspective of a feminist. So New York could become the first state to fully decriminalize sex work. Does everybody know what decriminalize means? Right?
Yeah.
You sometimes you already know, Jake. Sometimes people will try you. Democratic lawmakers in New York have proposed a bill that would decriminalize prostitution. The new legislation unveiled Monday also looks to eliminate prior criminal records related to most sex work offenses. That's very interesting. So if you have, and I actually have to look into that if you get caught. Jay, could you? I'm not sure if you can look up if you get caught in prostitution. Um, if you get caught doing prostitution, what can you get in trouble for? But I'm not gonna lie, this could probably come off a lot of people's records. If passed, it would be the first of its kind in the U.S. Senator Jessica Ramos and Julia Salazar introduced the Stop Violence in the Sex Trades Act, which is aimed at removing criminal penalties for sex workers who are often targets of street violence and arrest. See, Irene, that's good for women.
I
See,
have that. In New York, prostitution is a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 3 months in jail and a fine of up to $500.
ain't nobody got time for all that. Shit.
New York has laws against buying and selling sex, and that's another thing too, is that a lot of times it's the prostitutes that are getting charged with this, not the Johns. The Johns, I mean, excuse me, not the Johns. I don't want to say the Johns. The pimps, rather, are the ones in a lot of cases that get to walk away scot-free.
Oh, wow.
I was watching something on that the other day, and they were just saying how, like, you know, and then the prostitutes, because of fear of getting, you know, of getting the ass beat basically by their pimps, they'll protect their pimps by all means, so the pimps never end up getting prosecuted.
You see, so there is inevitably a second and third order effect, and I know you know what I'm talking about, Joe. When you anytime you go in to do something that was once illegal and then you legalize it, and here's what I meant by what I stated earlier to Irene's statement that she made. It is true that a lot of the brothels across Europe are simply closing down. The reason for that is that women are not going into that market any longer. That's part of the reason. It's not because the state or the countries are shutting them down. It's because a lot of women are simply not entering into that style of business as they once did. I spent 10 years over in Europe, 10 consecutive years over in Europe. And I will tell you that prostitution, the red light district hasn't gone anywhere. All of the major cities still have red light districts. Frankfurt, Berlin, Cologne, they still have House 34. That's what they call it, House 34, right? So those, especially in Germany, Cologne, the largest cities of Germany, and even some of the mid cities in Germany, you know, with relatively large populations, they still have the brothels. However, women are just not going into that field. In Italy, for example, they still have a lot of the sex houses. Well, they call them poof houses in Germany, actually. And it is the red light district where you go to the poof house, right? A little bit of history on the poof house. The reason why they call it the poof house, because a lot of the women will use powder to keep themselves fresh, and the Germans just coined the phrase poof house, right? Poof house. Haus is actually.
Q, let me get back to the article, okay?
Oh, go ahead, man. My bad.
I want let me get back to the article. I don't want to take away from. I get it. Let me get back.
Well, can I just say that the district being shut down in Amsterdam is indisputable. You can Google that and find out about it. It's a really big thing because it's been there for so long. So that's not even my opinion. That's like literally what's going on.
Right, right. Okay, I'm gonna let him go back to the article.
So let me get back to it, guys. And like I said, there's gonna be plenty of time. I just want to get us through the article, so that way we can at least find out what's going on in our country right now. Because as we already know, Nevada has it. It's not a fully Nevada. It's legal, but only in certain areas, and only you're allowed to do it for so long. New York is going to be 120% covered. In other words, if you're in New York and you're selling it at the border, and they street trooper pulls over and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm at work right now. I'll get off in like a few hours. Okay, she's not doing anything wrong. We will finally make strides against trafficking by empowering sex workers to report violence against them. Sex work is work. What? Sex work is work, and everyone has inherent right to a safe workplace. See, this government is getting better. We're actually trying to protect our women. The new bill, which was drafted with the help of sex work advocacy group, DeCRIM New York, would repeal and amend several statutes. If it passes, the bill would make it legal to both sell and buy sex under specific circumstances. Oh, that's nice. See, all you guys who do MGTOW, this is going to be a big come up for everybody.
MGTOW are too cheap MGTOW dudes are too cheap to buy sex.
Jay, stop it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
I agree.
No, they're having sex with silicone dolls now. They just want inanimate objects
they don't
to
have to
sex
do
with.
that now.
They've moved past people and they've moved on to something else.
Now they get to
I'm
come
trying
right
to help
back.
the MGTOW guys out. Okay, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to help them get out of that whiny boy levels. Okay, that the mentalities and crime.
Good. The legalization would regulate places where prostitution takes place in order to make working conditions safer for work and workers. Many misdemeanor charges related to prostitution would be repealed, and legislation does not eliminate charges in some circumstances, including prostitution in a school zone. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you can't be selling no doggone coochie on the school zone. Hey, boy.
That's why they're making them dolls. That's why they're making dolls, man.
So including prostitution in a school zone, which is a misdemeanor offense. I think we all can agree on that. The legislation also does not propose changes to current laws related to sex trafficking and offenses related to minors. Advocates are doubtful. Wait, I got a question. I just want you to think about this. So what happens if a police officer on duty gets caught having sex with a prostitute? Is that against the law now?
If who gets caught?
If the cop, but you know there's some cases out there in Connecticut, Jay, where there's been cops caught for having sex with prostitutes, and
it's usually considered a bribe, and they get
does
technically
that get too?
It's considered a bribe, and technically they can be punished for that. But we all know the blue code. So
okay, so advocates are doubtful the bill will be up for vote by the time the Democratic-led in assembly session ends by June 19th. So that's the due point right now. I'm not gonna lie, that bill is it's pushing through. I didn't even think it was gonna get this far. Rebecca Zipkin and Alexei, mayor of the Sanctuary for Families, a nonprofit group that advocates for sex. I've been there. Trafficking victims told CBS News they support much of the DeCRIM New York movement, such as the repeal of loitering law and decriminalizing people in prostitution. However, they do not support laws that decriminalize sex buying or promoting prostitution. According to Zepkin and mayors, fully decriminalizing prostitution doesn't make conditions safer for workers. It has the adverse effect. Oh, so that's just what Q said. Most often, it increased sex trafficking. Zepkin said, if you legalize, you are condoning brothels to become businesses and pimps to become business managers. And oh my, this is y'all reparations coming for y'all, man. Businesses and pimps become business managers. That we've seen around the world. The argument about safety is false. So that right there is pretty much the bill.
I don't know why they took down that back page when that white guy who started it all. I thought that was completely legit. Okay, but I don't.
The back page one.
The back page. Remember the back page?
They were selling kids on there. They were selling kids on there.
Oh, they was
right, and they were selling. They were selling that. A lot of sex trafficking was going on through the back.
Actually, that's where I got my Bitcoin from.
I was on a panel.
Oh Lord Jesus!
And they talked about that. Yeah. How they were, it was young girls. Many of them were not even 15 years old that was posing as 19-year-olds. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why that page was kind of taken down.
Yeah, it was definitely bad. It was an interesting time for a lot of soldiers. I knew a lot of our guys. They were on the back page hustle. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't shame them for doing it. I'm like, hey man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, find one girl and stick to that one girl and then make that work. And then that was it. So
right, I agree. So one thing real quick that I would like to relate to what Irene was saying. It is true that Amsterdam's one of their main sources of leisurely, pleasurely income, which was the other than their drug trade. You see, Amsterdam is the role model for what I see to become the United States if it continues to go the way that they're going. Because once they legalize marijuana completely and make it a recreational drug the way Amsterdam has done, then you will see a lot of the underturn come up, a lot more criminalization, because people will say, why do I have, now that it's legal, I don't have to go to a dispensary. I could grow my own. And then they're going to make little laws because they got to regulate it, just like they do in Germany. Because in Europe, you could have less than what I think is less than a pound for recreational use in your house, personal use.
Let me ask Jay.
In China, right? Their prostitution shit is really banging. Okay, out there in China, okay, there's no major problems going on out there. It's just maybe a little bit of abortion problems, but they keep that all under wraps. I mean,
they have other problems like
Oh my
abandoning
gosh,
children.
though. China,
You know, they abandon
yeah.
children,
not
and they
that.
have huge human rights issues. They have sweatshops. They have, I can go on and on. But anyway.
No, but the prostitution in China is not going well. There's a huge child trafficking problem. A lot of the prostitutes live in brothels in the slums. When you leave the like little bars and stuff for the tourists and stuff like that, this is a problem throughout the Asian continent. So I don't know why anybody is saying they're having all kinds of problems. There are homes that bring in former prostitutes and children that have been trafficked. Nowhere that bodies are being sold is it going well. Like that's not going well. You can't go well. Like and as descendants of slaves, to co-sign even the idea of selling a human body just because, you know, for sexual gratification should be cringeworthy either. Nothing goes well when you sell people. Like there's nothing good about that.
What about individuals who sell themselves? Okay,
Right,
there's nothing good about that. It just doesn't change.
Nothing.
A dysfunctional person who will be, especially for a woman or even a man that's being, you know, penetrated, like there's nothing good about, and if there's a lot of health implications to it too. It's damaging to a person's body to be penetrated that much. Like permanent damage is caused to these people. Nothing good. If they do it, if somebody makes them do it, like there's no way you slice it that this is okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and
I think it's okay if it's their decision. It's called a choice. Okay.
So okay,
choice.
So let me ask this,
yeah,
Jay.
but people make bad choices all the time. Just because it's a choice doesn't make it right.
Hold on, the host has a
So
question.
let me get this out the way, but I want to make sure we keep this a focus on talk. And thank you everybody who's coming into the chat. I know this is pretty interesting because if you live close to New York, you might be getting some booty soon enough.
Oh,
Jay. Jay, there's a lot of females, from what we hear, they're struggling. The man ain't doing right. They ain't trying to help them out with the kid. Is there any shame in they say, yo, like, listen, man, like, I can make this doggone come up of $200 or $300 in a few minutes. I go to one of these safe zones, I post up, I handle this, and I come on right back. I pay my bills and move on with life. Is there any
consequences?
Don't women do that already?
Yep. They do. Yep.
Wow.
I will drink my beer.
They do it passively.
Wow.
And they can do it aggressively. Okay? The passive approach is what most women do. That's like 80 to 70% of women out there. They always try to say, oh, I'm passive about it. I just want a man for security. Okay, right? Okay.
There's only one person named Jay on the panel right now.
Go ahead.
So
Jay.
To finish what I was saying.
Go ahead.
Damn, he's just as bad as Likewise. Jesus fucking Christ.
Very annoying. Yes, go ahead.
God damn it. Mario, let her talk.
Go ahead, Joe. I can't.
Okay. So
this
Mario,
shit just still got me fucked. Because obviously he's fucking dying to fucking talk. Like,
okay,
so.
Mario.
No, I go ahead. You can talk. I'm his guest. Okay.
So here's the thing about it. To be honest with y'all, I've been on both sides of the board. Prostitution. I've been on both sides of it. I did it for 2 years. It wasn't by choice. Now, for the other reason, I also was a guy that stood there in the bathroom. If you would have got wrong with it, or you came incorrect, or you didn't have the money, you were going to get your ass fucked up. That was just it. So, I've seen some women while their man was on deployment. I've seen them pull in $700 to $900 a month. Like while they were on deployment, their man and Q laughing, he knows they pulled in $700 to $900, probably more than that in one night. And they will tell you, don't want no black men, sorry, want white men, prefer older men. I love Latino men. They'll tell you everything. They don't want you black men, but just a lot of y'all are cheap.
Black men, Raz, I say black men don't like paying for pussy. They always want to like negotiate. Like it's like, oh, you charging $50. Why can't I get 25? Why can't I pay 25? You know, yeah.
Now to
Hey,
be
did you know that nobody never talks about escorting, like male gigolos or nothing like that? Nobody never talks about that.
Hang on. Now hold on. Now I'm gonna ask you that. I'm gonna ask you that. Now for a lot of men that got the gift, and you know, what I'm saying that we only just talk about the women. I don't really see them talking too much about the men. The men are going to be left out of the deal, and I keep it in 2 minutes now. We're gonna need it in 2 minutes. I'm gonna start it off with Jay. Jay, do you feel like the men can make a lucrative come up off of this? And then I will bring it over to. Then I will ask Mario in 2 minutes. I'm gonna have to start timing y'all. Do you feel that men can make a lucrative come up with this also? Like if they know, hey, baby mama, I can protect you. You go sell some coochie for me.
You mean as far as men selling dick?
Yeah.
No, because you know why? I'm not saying it's not a thing. However, women, it's easier for men, it's easier for women to get random dick than it is for men to get random pussy. Just in general, I can activate my Tinder. I guarantee I can activate my Tinder profile. I could probably fucking do it by tonight, if not tomorrow, if I wanted to.
Jay, we talked about that. Leave that shit off.
Oh, it's off. But I'm just making the point that if I wanted it, I could get it much easier than a man can,
Sure that dude
without having to like go through the whole process. Is my point.
So you say pussy has that much kind of power over men like that?
Wars have been fought over pussy, Joe. Come on.
That's right. You're right about that.
Now, if I may, real quick,
go ahead.
I would have to agree with her to a degree, but I also would have to disagree with you. And here's why I say that: because we know that women outnumber men in most cities a ratio of 10-1, right? And for most men like myself, I get proposition all the time, especially in my DMs, and women are always you get some just come on to you, right? If you're in the game and if you're a gigolo and you're doing the right thing, did you know that male exotic dancers earn typically 3 to 5 times more than female exotic dancers at a night? Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, because like I said, because men are cheap.
Right. No, I'm talking about the exotic dancers that go to these all women, these male reviews that happen. So just think about that, right? There's a guy, real quick, this ties into the story. There's a guy who just got convicted of bamboozling this woman. I think I saw it on Facebook. She got bamboozled out of $80,000. It has nothing to do with men are cheap or cheaper than women for us paying for sex. That's a misnomer to me. I would tell you that men can generate the same, if not more money in today's society, because why? Women outnumber men. And if these male reviews, I got some friend girls that I work with that talk about going to these male reviews and some of the activities that go on when they schedule these private parties and who screwed who. And girl, I can't believe she don't know where his dick been and she put it all in her mouth and he's an exotic dancer and da. And girl, we spent X amount of dollars. I hear these conversations going on, right?
Okay.
So it would be it can be a lucrative deal for a lot of men, just as it is for women. I just don't think that men would go into selling their bodies in that grade of at that high rate of at a higher rate than women, or likewise to women. I just don't think that that'll happen.
Okay, let me go ahead and bring it over to Game Changer. And just so that way y'all know, a male gigolo can make up to $7,000. So if you're in New York and you are a male gigolo, you might want to brush up on eating pussy. This might be a lucrative come up for you.
You don't even need to do that.
You know they're having sex with men, not women.
Well,
Well, why
yeah,
I
that
always gotta go
too.
like the male gigolo automatically got
I'm
to
Right.
go?
just saying that's the major market for male prostitutes are other
Right.
men.
Well, I
Now,
For
we
just
all
down
you know.
sleeping with men that are on the down low.
Well, yeah,
Nope.
that is a higher percentage out there too when you talk about the gay zone. But I'm talking about straight heterosexual males that
Yep.
are oftentimes involved in making a career as an exotic dancer.
Not my
Case in point, I'll talk about a personal experience that I had with one of my soldiers who was a male exotic dancer. This soldier was a lower enlisted soldier, and he had purchased an $80,000 Porsche Panorama, and everybody was like, "Wait a minute, how is this private affording this car and dressing the way that he does, and he's living off the installation, which privates are not allowed to do, but they can if they can pay for it, and he had a very lavish lifestyle." And I just so happened to add, he worked out, stayed buff, young guy, 22 years old, and he had that look. And I was like, damn, man, your family really taking care of you. He was like, nah, man, I do my thing. And I was like, what the fuck? And
You
then he
gotta shoot
kind of
him up.
no, he just kind of explained it. Like, hey, man, I'm a male review dancer, man. And he was case, and this was in New York when I was stationed in New York, as a matter of fact. And he would go down to the city, and he would go and do his male reviews and do these, the dancing like the strippers do. And this kid was making 3 to 5K or a night,
You see, Irene, you can make money.
3 to 5K a night, and he was nowhere near gay. This
Now,
guy had women that I know of. I'm just telling you, he
all
had
right, let me
women
let me get it
chasing
over there.
him
I gotta
around
get
the
it over there,
fucking
Q. We got Game Changer also
state.
on here. So let me get it over there. Game Changer, welcome to the show. We're literally having a talk, and I'm encouraging all panelists. Please, let's talk about this on our panels. I'm very interested in what Irene gonna talk about. I know she's gonna make it seem like this is the worst thing since Mother Teresa came. Uh, Irene, please do not butcher up prostitution. It is one of the best things humanity has left.
Oh my God.
Um, but Game Changer, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Um, we're now handling down the pipe that prostitution is possibly going to be legal 100% in New York. Is this possibly a good come up for the black community with the way how it is now and the provocativeness and the way how they are? And don't you think this might be the best come up for them now? Is hey the legalization of sex selling?
No, I don't. I know on the surface it seems as though, um, selling sex is a good thing for both men and women. It gives women an opportunity to make money and men an opportunity to gain access to sex without having to jump through the hoops that modern women make them jump through to get it. However, there with prostitution comes a culture that's very destructive, and that can be seen through generations.
Mm.
Um, in fact, a result of the current matriarchal state of the black community is prostitution. Whenever you have an institution where women make a significant amount of money, then what happens is families begin to value girls over boys because they have greater earning potential in this subculture. And then the matriarchy begins. You also have instances where women begin to become single mothers. They embrace this because that's a natural side effect of large numbers of prostitutes in a community. So I think that'll cause the building block of more of what we're already going through.
Okay. Now I'm gonna hit on now. I want to hit on this. I want to ask a question because I don't get it. Now let me first read this article and thank everybody who's coming on in. Much respect to everybody who's in here. This is something from a feminist that actually wrote about this. This is something from a feminist that wrote about this about how she feels about prostitution being sold. I feel like a lot of women. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm just saying. I've seen some women get their bills paid. Mama laying on her back and she pushes her kids through school. Like, I don't know. Should prostitution really be a crime? This is from females. Now, it's fun. It's interesting because women have been fighting for their rights to choose what they want to do. It's my body. It's my choice. I don't know why Irene is fighting it. She should be for it. But the divide over prostitution on the left, on the feminist left, an American British university student. Why is it always some British people always talking about this shit?
Because white people are debaucherous.
The
abominations.
Irene, stop it. Stop it.
No, I'm not saying all white people. I'm just saying, like, on the whole, you know what I mean? They get up to the weirdest crap.
Yeah, they do sometimes.
Yeah, they definitely into the fetish.
A lefty, I want to condemn a lot of liberals and unnuanced support. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. Prostitution that justified by vague notions of choice and criticize how many aspects of the third wave feminism erase the voice of most vulnerable and prostitution. Sex work is not work. Wait. Okay. Let's stop right there. So if sex work is not work, what do we call porn? And goddamn sex dancers and all of them goddamn people. Like,
trust me, it's work. All of it is
exploitation.
Work. No, it's not exploitation.
Okay, so Mario.
I say that it's exploitation because even if a person makes a choice to participate in something, doesn't mean that they cannot be exploited in the act.
So I guess the way you make it seem like is like I must be exploiting myself right now, right? You put it in that philosophy?
Well, I don't think that us having a conversation and somebody being penetrated repeatedly with a reward of cash are exactly the same.
Well, basically, it's their choice, right? So it can't be.
But like I said earlier, people make a lot of choices. It doesn't make them good or okay.
Okay, now, okay, let's get this. This is fashionable statement in these days, especially in those corners of the internet where sex-positive feminism collides with confessional journalism, where college students who work as cam girls, sugar babies, and yes, I had 2 sugar babies on my come up. I had 2 sugar babies. I financially supported them. I paid them $145 to $137 a piece. You know, if they were good babies. And I make sure I miss you, Tatiana. And
shut up. You're such a liar. They were 2 babies. Damn, $100.
Listen, you know the crazy thing about it? You'd be surprised how many girls.
I never experienced that before. You had to pay them? Okay, wow. They pay me.
Here's the thing about it.
I don't believe it.
So here's the thing about it, Jay. We talked about this, did we not? Did we not talk about how many females have a side dude that literally they keep for the come up when they things get bad?
How many women have a side dude they keep for a come up? Yes. A lot of women do.
Exactly. Now the men know about it and they don't mind. So long as I'm getting what I want, it's all good. I mean, shit.
BMT, could you? I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you? I sent my email address in the Hangout chat that you sent me the link in. Could you use that to send me email right quick so I can have your address? It's kind of important.
I got you. I'll definitely get that. Let me finish this up. Sure. Or panty sellers. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Panty sellers?
Yep. Used panties.
That is community. Wait. Community is very big.
You wear your panties and then you sell them?
Yes, and some dudes and some orders would include hey, wear after workout panties or wear them for a couple days.
Gosh, man. It was I was born into the wrong
real thing. It's a real thing.
Men are freaks
all the time.
Men are disgusting creatures. What can I say?
They're so obsessed with women. It's crazy.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
How women are not running the world, I just don't know. Like, I wouldn't approve, but I'm just saying how we aren't literally running everything when men literally almost worship us is amazing to me. Like, that says something about women.
I'm alive. God damn.
Well,
I got
it's the reason that women don't run the world is because men who cannot control their baser instinct have no power. Therefore, they're not the ones in charge. Truly powerful men don't go around looking to smell panties of women that they have no control over. So that's why. It's kind of the same reason that Augustus defeated Mark Antony. Once a man becomes enamored by a woman, it weakens him, and he is defeated by stronger mans.
It's
So,
I'll agree with that.
that's a fact.
Yep, I'll agree with that. And the fact that women are not born leaders like that. Like, we have too many emotional issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't keep leveled, I feel, females as a whole to run anything long term, and we also don't have strength on our side. So
let me ask this question. Da Vinci, are you here, brother? What's going on? Da Vinci, are you there?
I'm just kicking back. How you doing, brother?
Nothing too much, brother. Good to have you on here. We talking about New York is probably going to be the first state to legalize prostitution, the sale of booty. If you need to make a come up or you need to make a quick car payment, it ain't nothing to get on goddamn Tinder. Call them up and say, yo, I'm selling it for $200. Come get it while it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? Do you think this is honestly going to be a come up for the black community? But you know what I'm saying? If people know how to play their cards, they can sell it and, you know what I'm saying, make some money. Or is this a bad thing for our people?
Man, I think as women as a whole, you know what I'm saying, I ain't going to just go black community. I think it's detrimental to all of our communities.
Right.
You know what? It's crazy. I lived in Europe, and it's legal in Europe. You know what I'm saying? And I live here in Vegas, and it's somewhat legal here. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't really deal with it, but it depends on the choice. But I'm like this: don't think they're going to find a good man on this. You know what I'm saying? Because in a way, it's not respectful. I mean, it's not my steez. Some people may like it, you know, but I'm still on the listening, hearing everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still putting it all together inside my head. I didn't hear the whole conversation. I mean, I got some of the gist of it, but all in all, I think it's bad. I mean, there's so much potential in our black women and in women, and I've seen women that were great leaders. I've seen women that were bad leaders. You know, so. You know, and then also it's the oldest profession in the world. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, me personally, speaking for myself, I don't think it's a good thing for the black community, especially if she has kids. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for myself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I respect that. Let me, Jay. You know, before I pass it over to Mario. We talked a lot about women and their choices and what they do. Why is it that I don't get it? For once, a lot of men are complaining that I guess she's not here. I guess she just backed out. But I'm gonna ask the question, and I want to buck this at y'all. Okay, we say that women are constantly taking advantage of men. Okay, but here we got it where it's going to be a fair system, which the men have a choice. She's not going to be shooting no type of shots around or anything. What you see is what you get. You know, when you're driving up to that specific woman, she is a prostitute. She's sitting at the safe zone. You're literally driving in the black district. So okay. You know what I'm saying? So you know you ain't there for nothing but that.
Right.
I know when I was driving, when I used to live in Connecticut and in Massachusetts. So if you go to certain places at nighttime, the girls would literally be lined up on walls. And if you slow down, they would literally come up to your car and say what you want. Do you want me?
Mhm.
Do you want us? Do you want $200? How much you want to spend? And depending on what you want to spend, that's what you got in your car. So
Right.
now we're looking at it right now that this is going to be legal. And I'm gonna be for real that if we have a high wedlock in the home, why would women want to turn this deal down? I mean, if honestly the men ain't there, so the women, I'm gonna do what I got to do.
It depends on what's important to them.
Right.
The money in the money or their integrity.
Mm.
You know, and that's what it really boils down to. You know, I mean, I can't sit there and tell a woman not to do it. You know, I mean, that's still her freedom of choice. I may not agree with it, you know, but at the same time, if I sit and look at it from living in Europe, where they had the red light district, they had whole apartments, and you could pick any woman that you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And it was legitimized that way. But then if they want to sit there and legalize it, then they're going to have certificates and get checked, insurance, and all that stuff
Right.
like
They
that.
do that. They do that, and they do that in those areas.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the thing about it that a lot of people don't want to talk about. The girls in the red light district have to have papers.
Yes.
They have to have papers. Like I don't want y'all to just think that they just selling it. Like if you're going to a legit brothel, they have to be checked. The girls have to be clean. They have to. There's no marks that can be put on them. Like it's in a controlled environment.
Yeah, it is.
So would that be wrong? And I'm gonna pass it over to Irene. Would that be wrong for these girls to be in? I got Jay back. Jay, I'm glad I'm keeping it even. Jay, I don't get it. A lot of dudes talk down on these females, but then these females now they don't need men now. They can literally make their own come up. They don't need no man's verbiage of approval or shaming because men going to talk about you regardless whether you doing right or wrong. So I mean, what's to stop a woman saying, "Yo, you're going to talk about me like a dog, but you're going to be in my DM in the next 20 minutes when I turn on that light, when I turn on that Uber coochie, you're going to be there to try to get it." So do you think women should honestly care about the hindsight of men, or they should just be about getting their money now?
Women do that now.
Oh shit! What? Hold on now. I rebuke you. What do you mean? Women
You
do
think
care
I give
about
a
what men
fuck?
say.
Listen, you think I give a fuck about a approval about a man?
Yes, you care about
At this stage in my life?
Don't
I
say
don't. I don't. I work too damn hard. I make my own money. I don't need the approval of a man to do so.
Jay, stop.
I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna call it what it is. We've sat here on this panel and have had men call me out of my fucking name, but the next day want to be in my DMs. Am I lying?
It depends on the man.
Yes,
Man.
that is true, Jay.
Yeah, okay, hold on, Joe. I gotta say it because I see what we're going with this. Not all men. It's a general statement. I'm just saying.
Now,
No, I'm not mad. I mean, it's all love here.
No,
No
okay.
worries.
Now let me ask Irene. Irene, are you there? Irene, are you there?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask you fairly. Is it not contradictory? The same men that attack you are more wanting of you on these panels. The same people that attack you, do they not more so attack you because they can't have a woman like you? But this might, I don't know, alleviate those issues.
I don't think the two things are related. I think me personally,
Yes,
when
they
I get
are.
attacked on I think me personally, when I get attacked on panels, it's because men are doing what men do, which is when a man cannot control or feels a woman is not doing what he wants. Weak men, not all men, because my man's not like this, but I've definitely come into contact with men like this in real life too. They will start to attack you, and they attack very specific things when they attack women. They attack your appearance first and foremost, and they attack your womanhood. Now, that mess doesn't work with me. Okay, I literally sat on a panel with a group of men who said I was attractive for like an hour, and then when I stopped agreeing with what they were saying, because we might agree on some points, but we're not going to agree on everything, started saying I was not attractive and I have a big head and that my breasts are saggy, even though my breasts are gorgeous.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? But my point is that that's just what weak men do. And in real life, I steer clear of men who feel that the only way they can control a woman or a situation with a woman in it is to attack her, because men know we're sensitive about certain things. And so weak men try to use that against us. So I think that's why that goes on in panels, not necessarily for their desire for me. Like maybe they find me attractive, maybe they don't. Like everybody has their own thing, but more because men who don't know better and don't know how to do better just find that that will work with a lot of women. Like women will recoil in on themselves because you say they're not cute, or, you know, their body isn't the best or something. But like, I'm too old for those kind of games. Like I've given birth to daughters and sons.
You're only
I'm
like
grown. I
25
have
years
adult
old.
children. Now, correlation to prostitution? Absolutely not. Because I feel that whilst men will go to a prostitute, like if they want to have sex and if they want access to a woman, I think not all men are going to be satisfied with that, to not despise women, because it's always going to be the women that you cannot purchase that they're going to have a problem with. And that's typically the women men have a problem with, the women they cannot purchase, the women that they cannot control, because they're not in that position. And so I think a weak man is going to feel weak no matter what. But I think it will be a novelty for a minute for men. And I think it will definitely degrade women's position in society the same way cam girls degrade our position in society, the same way, you know, Instagram chicks degrade our position in society, because the same way the women selling panties degrade our position in society. Because whilst it seems like on one side you're exploiting men's weakness for women, on the other side you're turning us as women into less than people. So even to hear, you know, if a man, you know, wants access to sex, what that means is if a man wants access to a woman, right, and her body, if a man wants access to a human being and a person, they can go purchase that. And that's just a disgusting sort of idea to me. I feel like when we say that choices are involved, I find like people who want to do bad things, right? And this is something I told my sons. People who want to do bad things, and I'll teach my daughters this too, but they're just little. But people who want to do bad things tend to come with two arguments. One, it's their choice. Like they're grown, it's their choice, right? Because that absolves them of the fact that they're really doing something horrible. Or two, you made money. They got paid, they were compensated. And I feel like when you have people who are disenfranchised to the point where they have nothing that they can do but sell their body to survive, that's a very limited choice. I don't know any women who would just choose to be prostitutes if they had assurance that their lifestyle, their food, their clothes, their children's needs, their family, whatever would be taken care of. And that would
Live
be the
in
measure
Vegas,
of
man.
a
It's
choice.
Live in Vegas is a completely different program out here, man. They do it because they want to do it. A lot of them do, and for them, it's all about the money. It's all
Well,
about money for them.
See, that's
Well,
how
that's why I'm saying if the money was not an issue, they wouldn't be doing it. Women just don't love having sex with a bunch of guys. Women like
I
the
don't
money,
know,
not the
man.
sex with a bunch of guys. And let me tell you, when men, I feel like sometimes men want to be in a delusion. When you're paying somebody for sex, they're not going to be like, I hate this. This sucks. I don't want to do this. I'm only here because you're paying me. Like, that's not going to be their attitude. The job is to
she
sell
does
you a
love us.
fantasy. But I feel like men hear this from sex workers or porn stars and they think, oh, it must be true because a lot of men want to believe that. But let's be real. It really is about the money. It's not about just they love penis so much. They might say that and you might like that because it adds to the fantasy, but that's not the reality.
But
You ever,
that's the
you
whole
ever,
thing. That's the whole thing. And let me get it over to Game Changer. All right, see, this is getting pretty interesting. Now, Game Changer, the feminist said sex is not work. However, we've been seeing girls who are strippers have been getting taxed now. We've been seeing porn stars are getting taxed. a lot of people who are.
Well, wait a minute. Porn is a legitimate business.
Yes, I know, and they're gonna say that's not work, mind you. They have to perform for hours at a time. That's a lot of work. I think the men gotta put needles in their dick to make their dick stay hard. Yeah, they it's a lot of stuff that goes on. So I don't understand. The thing about it is the dudes who don't have no skills in the hood, like Jay, how do we say it? A fuck boy is only good for just fucking, because that's all he does. He just sits around and don't do shit. So
pretty
he's just
much
fucking.
Right.
So why not get paid for what you're good at? I mean, at least you know that, yo, like, I gotta just hit up Fat Keisha, and you know.
Wait, what's the name? Fat Keisha?
Yes.
We've moved on from Sharkeisha.
Sharkeisha is a little bit too violent. She has a misdemeanor. Fat Keisha is a little bit more hot. She's fat.
You know, I want to say real quick, just to regards to Irene's point, I was gonna say if I had $1 for every time someone called me fat, or that somebody said I got a big head, when 5 minutes ago we was having a normal conversation. Men are quick to, and it's almost always men.
No, it's not.
99% of the time, it's men that do that.
Okay, so here's the thing, Game Changer. Do you feel that a lot of these men, especially in our community, are not this is going to be a big setback because they're not going to be able to be disciplined for when this happens? Do you think this is going to set back a lot of men?
A lot of men's going to try to be pimps now.
Hey, yeah, I mean, you got the gift. You got the gift. I want to ask Game Changer. Game Changer, are you there?
Yes. I think that it'll set back a lot of families.
Really? Go ahead.
I don't think that it'll. Well, it's very difficult to form families in prostitution environments. Women don't really look at marriage as a viable deal. I mean, I don't know how much American prostitutes cost, but each time a woman who was born into poverty, who understands prostitution culture, every time she sleeps with her husband, she's going to think that she deserves X amount of dollars for her service to her. That perception of value will degrade the quality of the relationship. Also, he might think the same thing. So, say a woman who, if sex costs $100, if prostitution is legal, and she sleeps with her husband 300 times a year, she's going to, feel that she's owed $30,000, if not directly in service or deference in the relationship. For example, she might say, okay, so, I slept, you should be the one taking out the trash, washing the dishes. It basically changed the power dynamic in the relationship to an unsustainable degree. And yeah, it would degrade the quality of relationships.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about it. And I want to say this. I want to ask this question. There's something. Okay. How's the best way to say this? You would be surprised how many men wife up the community hoe.
Hoes get wifed every day, B.
Every day. God damn it, the game is real. Now, men wife up hoes every day. This is why now we coined the term simp. Because one dude says, you know what? I'm going to take this girl off the streets and make her a dime. So the thing about it is, for a lot of these guys who are wifing up these hoes, is this a bad thing? I mean, they are who are picking up young guys and taking them under the wing. I'm curious because with the Black community, we over sexualize ourselves. And I want to ask Irene this. With the way how the system, because I know Irene likes talking about the system, do you think this is something to set people back, especially with elections and different things going on? that this is some form of supremacy, knowing that black people might be key to taking the bait for this? I mean, we got City Girls, we got Nikki, we got a lot of people. We got Cardi's. Do you think this is something to reel us into the system? Not saying other cultures don't do it, but you think this is going to really, but whatever hurt our, like people, they had opioids, we had crack that really set us back. Do you think something like this, especially with these elections, this is going to prove talking points to get us caught up into something?
Wait, who are you asking that question to?
Let me ask you, Jay. Let me start it off with you, and then I'm taking over Da Vinci. Jay, do you think this is some set up by the system to get us caught up into like oh my god, like see these black people over there, they're selling their booty and stuff?
No, it's set up to get more tax revenue.
I think so. You think? But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Weed in Connecticut, you see that?
Well,
that shit costs.
Yeah, weed in Connecticut isn't legal yet because everyone goes to Massachusetts. But I will say in Colorado, I was just reading an article today that in Colorado they have surpassed the $500 million mark in tax. Not how much money they've made, like not how much money businesses have made. They have surpassed in Colorado over $500 million in two and a half or 3 years in marijuana tax revenue.
That's a lot of money. God damn it!
In 2 years, just from selling weed.
Now, to be fair, Jay, before we
taxing something like prostitution has the potential, taking all the humanity out of it. Taxing something like prostitution and setting it up where it is, it is in a place where, you have to get checked for STDs, you have to use protection, you have to get regular STD checking, all that other stuff they do, and to charge a tax with that. As many men that pay for pussy, and that's being through escorts or a woman on the street, the state can make a lot of money off of that.
Now, Jay, would it be crazy if they say if you would like to participate in buying coochie, you have to go get a ID card, so that way you would be in a system that you have to pay?
Sure, why not? Right, and you have to get like STD test. Yeah, because there's some men that buy pussy on a regular basis. Like that's the only way they have sex, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a lot of these dudes that are in the YouTube sir dear.
Hey, stop that now.
I'm pretty sure that some of them, that's the only way they get laid. So with that being said, that's probably a good idea, makes the process quicker. And and then they charge for that little ID card. You might have to pay $300 for that ID card that's good for a year or two. And then you're paying the prostitute, and then 10% or 20% of that is going to a tax fund.
Okay. Now, so we have a chart right here, because we like to be able to teach you guys some stuff as we go throughout the day. I feel like that's the best way. And I try to tell y'all that one thing that we can do is go over the charts. This is the chart for selling coochie by the hour and the age and how it goes up. Whoever says coochie ain't making money in the US is full of shit. So let's go ahead and look at this on Ask a Negro. Thank you. Well, guys.
Oh my God.
How much? I had to look up how much a prostitute can earn. I mean, let's be for real. They literally have classes in doggone Planned Parenthood on how to suck dick. So why not have a prostitute class? I think it's pretty healthy.
Wait, they have classes?
No, they don't, Joe. Who told you that bullshit? Who told you that bullshit, Joe?
Jay, I bet I can pull it up right now. I bet
pull it up. Pull it up.
Yeah, I need evidence of this.
Because what they do teach at Planned Parenthood is options on how not to get pregnant, which include oral sex and anal sex. They do not have fellatio classes. Let's get it straight. So what they are showing, no. what they are showing is like, hey, you know what? Hey, it's sex is another option. This is another option.
What do you know? Teach his
2012,
kids.
2010.
It's already in
Joe, I'm
the
gonna need something. I'm
Don't
sorry.
do that. I
Life
found
news.
it.
Oh hell no,
You're
no,
mad.
Joe. Life news.
We
No.
have to admit, though,
Life
it's not
news.
like the
No.
world is getting more moral. So if they were
Right.
doing that in
That I will
2012, they
agree with
probably
that.
are doing a little bit more.
I will agree with that, Irene. But I will say, Life News is a hack job website. Don't even try it.
Life news. This ain't
I
life
would
news.
have loved to
Life
see
News
something
is a
on the Planned
terrible
Parenthood
website.
website or
God, it's
something.
like I can
Yeah,
find it.
Life News. No, no, I will not accept it. I will not accept a
Oh, so
story
I
from
gotta go
Life
find a
News,
whole
Joe.
other site.
A legitimate website, yes. That's not a legitimate website.
So you want to go to, if I go to Planned Parenthood on how to
None of those are Fox News.
okay, Fox News don't count. You want to say
Not really. I don't see any legitimate websites up there that
I gotta
article
get
came
Planned
up.
Parenthood.
So
I
is it
will
on Planned?
accept Fox News despite the fact they are racist.
That's why I kind of was like
I
Fox News,
swear, man. I can
man.
find the shit and y'all still won't take it, man.
No, because not all. Because just because it's on the internet, don't make it true, Joe. Come on, now you're smarter than this.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I was willing to accept Fox News.
But I don't think that was about oral sex. I think it was about something else.
No, it's about damn they. You talking about? They literally got it where they can teach you that shit.
I don't know. It just said teaches graphic sexual something or other.
No, they teach you how to suck dick. That's honestly what they teaching you how to do.
Moving on, Joe. I'm having an issue with your. What were you about
I
to
will
say, though?
say this: the
He
fact
just doesn't
that
want to be
they
wrong.
murder
That's what it is.
babies
All right, y'all
helps me believe that they would do
right.
that. Like, if you kill a whole person, why wouldn't you teach fellatio? Is really my thing.
Why not teach how to damn suck dick? I mean, you gonna get paid.
I just told you what they teach. They teach how oral. Yes, they do teach oral sex, but they teach it. What they're teaching it in the context of that, oral sex and anal sex is an option.
We're gonna do that class another day on how to suck
Okay,
dick.
I was gonna say oral sex is an option. I mean, you can't get pregnant from sucking dick or taking it in your ass. Let's be real.
Well, okay, that is fair. You can't get pregnant from sucking dick and taking it in your ass, but it is something that they do teach on the safety of it. Okay,
Sort of. That's a stretch, but okay.
That's a phone call.
Moving on
For another day.
That was a reach. That was a long basketball reach right there. That was a reach, Joe.
Jay,
that was a
we
reach.
won't do this right now. We'll have it after the show. Okay, so we know that girls that are 20, your other occupations, you don't make much, but prostitutes, you are pretty high up there on the scale. So I would probably say between 22, 23. I think that's probably what a woman is worth, or her vagina is worth some type of merit. Probably getting fucked with. Yeah, that's look like most likely the girls who are going to be selling their ass the most. I'm just saying. Those are the girls who are going to be going to college. So, I'm just saying. College girls are more known.
Yeah.
Like, didn't we just do a story on the sex scandal? I mean, these girls are going to get caught up in a lot of shit. I'm sorry, Irene, you are a minority now. These girls are screwed, and they are going to be lambs.
Knowledge.
So
You're talking about white women, though. Let's be clear.
No, it's gonna be black women too. Don't do that.
I want to tell you what, though. There's a lot of black men.
I'm just saying that they're disproportionately white.
I know more black prostitutes here in Vegas than white.
Yeah, there's a lot. Thank you, Da Vinci.
Oh my gosh, you can pick up any Vegas leaflet and disprove that fact, like right now.
Yeah.
Like, they hand them out there. They hand them out there and they are filled with white women. I'm gonna need you to stop playing.
How come when I watch YouTube, when I watch documentaries about prostitution, and they're almost always all white?
Hey, I lived here for. I lived here for.
How come when you watch porn, they're almost all white? Like, why are we pretending like we don't know that this is a fact?
Numbers, Brazilian killers.
I haven't watched porn. There's plenty of black porn out there, man. There's a lot of black porn out there.
Yeah, but that's not the majority. You would have to. It's very niche. That it's niche. Come on now. Anyway. The place black people are winning in porn is gay porn, and black men are winning in that area. But other than that, it's white women.
And that shit.
I disagree with that.
Porn. Like, no, not no black men. Like,
I know one porn star, and that's Lisa Lips, and she's a very good friend of mine. And You ever hear Lisa Lips?
Yeah, Lisa Lips. I got.
Oh, yeah. Me and her used to smoke weed together all the time when I lived in Florida.
Oh man, we gotta go do a whole show together. We gotta talk about this.
But she's just a friend of mine. I never fucked her or anything like that. We were just friends. You know, that was it. I mean, she happened to date one of my bosses and stuff like that, you know, and we were cool, you know what I'm saying? We hung out. I hung out with my boss, you know what I'm saying? Then just being friends, my boss, you know, basically that was his girlfriend, whatever it was, and me and her just chilled and kicked it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk about her porn. It wasn't about that. I mean, actually, as a person, she was a cool person.
That's good.
You know, I mean,
let me show
the prostitution thing, and
let me show this right here for you.
I'm not starstruck. You know,
I feel you, brother, because you know it's a good thing that you said that.
We're calling a person that has sex on camera for pay a star. Like, I'm stop about that.
You need to really stop.
I just cannot. I cannot with it.
Okay, so first off, the family experience, you can be a prostitute and still have a family experience. See, that's 31.5%. Neighborhood context, you know, that's 26%, you know. There's a lot of 19-year-old girls out there selling their ass. Drug dealing to pimping. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's 24.7 out of 18, but that could be worked on. Now, the recruitment by women is 24.7%. So it seems like women are recruiting other girls as y'all do in the powder room, the bathroom. Like, hey, girl.
Oh my gosh, but we know those are bottom bitches for men. Like, come on, let's be real. let's have a real conversation right here. These women are just running around here recruiting for themselves. You know that whenever you're recruiting prostitutes, you have another woman come in on that because it allows them to be more manipulative with their potential prostitute. So women, it's like a pedophile using kids and women to pull in kids.
Irene,
because
how did you get the pedophile?
I'm just saying it's the same mindset. Predators. A wolf is not going to come and try to charm sheep. He's going to send somebody that looks like a sheep because you're going to trust them to suck you in.
How is that
literally and figuratively?
Oh my God.
I'll be honest, and it's not about being a typical man or anything like that. But I'm at the point now. I mean, I don't agree with it because of the morality. But you know what I'm saying? If she wants to do it, it's up to her. Because number one is I ain't going to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? Right. On a 4-wheel. You know, I mean, I've been there. I've been a dog and all that, and I never had to pay for poo nanny. You know what I'm saying? Never had to pay for it ever. Only one time I paid for it, and that was at the that was when I was in Germany. Reason being is it was Sachsenhaus, and it was the red light district. I took a ride just like I went to Disneyland. Other than that, nah. You know what I mean?
Hang on. I'm gonna ask Game Changer. We just had a power talk not too long ago. And the thing about it, I don't understand is that for men that have the money, the resources, and everything accessible to them, you are a well-distinguished brother. Why is it wrong for them to sell coochie and you like, hey, you know what? I don't feel like having to spit no game. I want to go up. Hey, Bottleisha. Hi. I want to fuck you. And that be it. Like that.
Only thing with me, man, I just believe in God. That's it.
Wasn't God's girlfriend or mother Mary Magdalene? Prostitute. Actually, Jesus's great grandmother.
Okay, that was not his girlfriend. First of all, second of all, she wasn't a prostitute after she wasn't actively prostituting after he stopped her from getting stoned. So let's not get it twisted.
Okay,
she was prostituting. They were going to stone her alive. He saved her. She didn't continue to be a hoe. Come on now.
Okay, but to be fair,
that's what it's all about.
Was a prostitute. His great grandmother was a prostitute.
Who cares? Why we turn
about right now? I just need you to stop. Look, Look, you might want to leave God out of it, lest you end up in hell somewhere. So
I'm not saying,
just
man.
behave.
I try my best to live
Behave
my
when it
life
comes to the Creator. Okay.
Hey Joe. So I pulled up the FBI statistics on prostitution arrests.
Yes.
And this, I can't see the year, but this is just people that have gotten arrested for prostitution. So, and sex offenses. So to give you, prostitution, the total, I'm not sure what year it is. I can tell you that in a minute. The total arrests. So like I said, this doesn't include people that are just on the street that don't get arrested and escorts and all that. Prostitution total arrest was 43,216. The amount of white was 23,000. The amount of black was 18,000. The amount of Asian was 175 or 1,393. And American Indian, which is actually huge, especially at truck stops and stuff like that, was 1,300.
The Indians?
Yes, the natives. Because the truck stops, prostitution is huge at truck stops.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, this is just based off of arrests.
Now,
no, there are not more black prostitutes than white prostitutes.
They don't get caught. Those black women, we know they don't get caught.
No, white women don't get arrested as much. Let's be real, Joe. Come on now.
I feel like y'all protecting black women, but we ain't gonna call this shit for what it is. But.
This was based off of.
You know, a lot of those be coming out. The girls out here are black.
This was based.
She's telling the truth there.
This was based off of the FBI. This was from the FBI.gov website from 2012. Just to let you know.
Okay. Shit. Now I got a question. We have different groups, different affiliations. If Mario were to start his own group, would it be wrong for him if his men are lacking in women for him to hire women to service and take care of them, like concubines? I believe that should be fair. There's no problem with that, right?
If it makes you happy.
Okay, so we all.
That's the way I look at it.
Okay, Mario, you are a professional gigolo, correct? Right.
Yep.
Now, Mario, in your time as being a gigolo, is this not a good day for men? That way they can now go out and conquer and sell themselves and willingly make money and be conquerors of their own fate. Like, can't you be a professional gigolo and be a family man and still please women?
Sure, you can. The problem is that if men want to get paid, or if they want to pay, if they want to get paid, then they have to take advantage of the situation, right, at the cards that they have been dealt with. But if they want to pay the pussy, okay, that makes him a weaker man because he don't know how to use his brain. Okay, he don't know how to take advantage of females. So, like, the matriarchs tend to work for women in the Commonwealth state, right?
Right.
But men can take advantage of the matriarch. There's plenty of men who won court cases against women who basically, you tried to take advantage of the system. Okay, like Britney Spears, the Britney Spears thing with her husband. Her husband got alimony.
Can you stay on topic though? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a point here, but my point is that there are men, lots of men, especially MGTOW guys out there who are whiny boys. They talk about too much statistics, but they don't they don't understand how to take advantage of women in their need and time. Like, for example, like gigoloing is about having a sense of personality and charm, and using you don't even have to fuck them. That's the key element there. You don't even have to use your real penis to fuck them. You just have to talk to at least a female who basically is a lower quality standard of appearance in the appearance department than yourself, and then you can sell yourself. You know what I'm saying? You could walk up to a proper woman who you can assume, if you have the right psychology, and work with her, because I've did it before with older women I dealt with.
So then what penis are you using to fuck them then? If you're not using your real penis.
A strap-on. I don't fuck. See, I'm gonna have OCD.
I don't
fuck
women. So wait.
I don't fuck women with my real penis. No, I don't do that.
So
go ahead.
So okay, so women are wanting strap-on penises to fuck them.
Yeah, there is a fetish, a niche out there, you want to call it, which basically men don't understand. That they didn't even try to explore it. They don't even try to understand. There's plenty of women out there. There's 2 women to 1 man, right? Right. So why not talk to the women who like. You know why feminists exist today? Because they don't have a male companion. They don't have no one to look up to. And all men want, only thing men want is their car note to be paid or their rent. You know, women, how much money women generate on themselves and for themselves. They spend on products and makeup and stuff, billions and billions of dollars. They can easily do that for a man. They just want a companion. That's all they want. They want a companion. I've been taken to the Cheesecake Factory. I've been taken to Red Lobster. Everyone goes through a blue pill, right? Mm-hmm. So why can't men start understanding what women's needs are if they're a feminist? Because you know what women want. You know what feminists need, right? Feminists need a companion. They truly do. And the reason why we have all these Me Too movements and shit going on is because the men ain't doing their jobs. There's too many effeminate men being born. We have too many effeminate men.
Now, could you see that honestly, with the prostitution thing, do you think other states will possibly now let's be for real. New York is greatly in debt. New York is in debt with money. Okay, that's not a secret. They have a really bad deficit. So would it be fair that if a state is behind in debt, would this be the best way to actually get out of debt? I mean, they did it with weed, so why not pick up?
Truthfully, I believe the debt can be eliminated if the men start to wise up and take advantage of women who basically wants a family for the future. Okay, you know, there's two types of women out there: women who want a family, right?
Yes.
Right, and then there's women who just want money.
You're right beyond your years. You're wise.
Okay, so basically, if they just want money, they know the consequences of their actions before it happens. The city can save a lot of money as if the men start taking advantage of the matriarch system instead of being taken to the courts and the alimony and all that stuff. That costs the city money. Okay,
yeah,
the alimony, the Commonwealth, that takes up money. But if they allow it to happen, there should be some sort of limitations. Let it happen. I said let it happen because back in the 80s. There was really no problem for it. But pimping ain't easy, okay? Back in those days. Back in the day, pimping ain't easy, right? But what about gigoloing? Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about there's a niche where nobody talks about where there's a lot of women out there, basically, who don't really have a companion. Okay?
Now question. I have a question. So would this not be a lucrative come-up business if a man can literally talk to a few girls and say, listen, Mario, you take Jay and Irene. You say, listen, babies, I'm going to take care of y'all. We're going to make some money. I don't have to worry about nothing. Isn't that a legit good black business? I mean.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if people just understood what polygyny is, if women do polygyny all the time. They just do it in an indirect way. Polygyny is the key. If a man has multiple wives, right? And then he has multiple children, okay? Women can, and a man who can take advantage of that polygyny act, okay, can have multiple children, and when they grow up, they can actually save more money to get themselves nice houses and nice cars. It's all about materialism, and you already know that if a woman's not trying to sue for child support and trying to sue for alimony and stuff like that, and they make agreements with one another, because they're already doing it anyway. Every time I go to a woman's phone, she always has male counterparts, and these male counterparts is a flaw to her downfall. Once she hits that wall, it's over. She knows it's over. I have talked to hundreds of women. I say, you have a time limit, right, on that pussy, right? You got a goddamn time limit, right?
We look at the chart.
We got the chart.
That's BS because these people in elderly homes,
you knew you was gonna get triggered.
They are having lots of sex and you would not want to think about it. So that's actually not true. Like old people are having sex with old people, ugly people are having sex with ugly people. Like everybody can get it these days.
That's not always true.
This hitting the wall thing, I'm gonna tell you what's up. This hitting the wall thing is something men have developed that is a gauge for what they find sexually attractive, not what they can attain. So there's like a different sort of thing. Are women more attractive when they're not 60 or 50? Sure, most women are, but that has nothing to do with what men can attain, which is why women of all ages and men of all ages and all phenotypes are able to get sex throughout their life because what you like and what you can get are not equal. So there's no real wall. There's just a proverbial wall. There's no real wall because the women that you want are not the women you have access to. So people go with what they can get.
and her age factor. Once she hits that wall, that pussy's no good no more. Okay, that
Let me
age
go
is no
ahead and
good
say
no more.
this. Let me say this one more time. It is a proverbial wall because whatever men may like if you poll them and they're like, we like them 18 and hot, that's not what they can get. So the wall
the
is
same
not
can be said
existent.
and
Let
vice
me
versa,
finish.
though.
Let me finish. The
Okay,
wall
go
is
ahead, go
not
ahead.
exist. Let me finish. The wall, it doesn't exist in real life because in real
Yes, it
life,
does.
people sleep with the people who will be willing to sleep with them. And it has nothing to do with their preference a lot of the time. They may prefer a 20-year-old with a big butt and giant breast and a tiny waist,
Okay.
but you may not get that. So you're going to have sex with the woman that you can get. That's the real world. And this game that men try to play where they're trying to take back their masculinity because women are working and things like that by trying to make women fear mongering about when they're going to have value is completely fake because in real life men get what they can get, period. You can like whatever you like. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, so you're going to go for the woman that says yes every single time. And women, remember that.
Okay, Irene, are you saying that there are young men trying to hit on you now? Are young men hitting on you?
I have 20-year-olds hit on me all the time.
Same.
All the time. Because they think but mind you, they think that I'm close to their age. They're not hitting on me because they're just into MILFs. They think that I'm younger. But nonetheless, my point is that old men, young men, white men, blue men, purple men, black men, men hit on women in mass. That's why y'all hit on so many women, because you're just waiting for somebody to say yes. You know what I mean? I hate these hit the wall arguments because they're not attached to reality. In reality, you're having sex with the woman that says yes. Just period. No matter what your preference, you may have an ideal woman you want, but if you can't get her, you're going to go with the woman that says yes.
Okay.
And that woman might be 40. And that woman might be chubby. And that woman may not be fine as heck. And that woman may not have a 20-inch waist. And so women have to stop letting men manipulate us. I understand men are feeling desperate from lack of control, from not being able to buy women. Men have to earn copious amounts of money to have money value to women because they believe that's how you get women. And since women can earn their own money, that means men have to have even more money, right? To get the 8s, the 9s, the 10s. And so this is creating a dynamic where a lot of men are angry because they cannot attain the toppest of top-notch women. So they're fear-mongering women into feeling that they don't have any value. But I live in the real world, and I promise you, that's BS. That is BS.
Okay. Whatever floats your boat.
Go ahead, Josiah. Go ahead.
Okay, so before we wrap it up, Game Changer. Any final remarks on how we should go about venturing into this, or no? Should we just leave this on? I'm not sure Game Changer's here. So I'm asking Da Vinci, because he's been yes. Oh, Game Changer.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. We were pretty deep into the Bible and prostitution and somebody's hitting the walls. Now we went over the charts. We went over everything about people talking. Now we literally brought up, and I know you're pretty good with the numbers. New York is in debt, really bad. Okay. They brought up Colorado, and in Colorado already it's $500 million in tax money that they made back. Is this not a good way to actually help get the U.S. economy out of debt by probably taking the people that aren't doing anything, start putting them to work?
It will. You're basically what you're doing is you're mortgaging your future. Yes, you will solve the problem for a very small period of time, but in generations to come, you'll have a much larger problem. Now, it's very difficult to see because it's not like we have a wholesome culture to begin with. It's not like, women are not already legally selling their sexuality. So it's not a far jump, for them to sell sex itself. And it's not like we are a nation of family values. So we really don't have much to lose. We've already mortgaged our future, probably to the point of no return anyway. So, but to answer your question, hopefully there are better ways to get out of debt for the state. I don't really see, prostitute. It would be a temporary fix, and who's ever governing at the time would probably get, whoever's governing at the time would probably get a kudos for solving the problem. But generations later, they will suffer consequences as a result. I mean, and who knows? It could be like Vegas. I mean, like, prostitution is legal, or Nevada rather. Prostitution is legal there, but I don't. As far as I know, people from California aren't really going there in droves. I don't know how much it's really helping their economy or anything.
I can honestly say, like, in Massachusetts, now that weed is legal, and here's the thing about it: nobody, like, there's no crazy thing of. Here's the thing: what people are looking at it, game changer, like, in the sense that if this happened, everything goes to shit. But we looking at these different states like Nevada. I mean, Benji could tell you, and I could tell you that been there. Rape ain't high up in Nevada or crazy. Like, people aren't raping and doing all kind of crazy stuff to these women. Like, these women are literally like secure areas doing this. As far as it goes for weed, like in Massachusetts, they tell you if you get caught driving, there's serious precautions. So I get what you're saying about doing this now.
If you're done eating, go to bed.
Doing this now, it might have some bad repercussions. However, I mean, doing this now, it probably would be good. Like, it probably would be we gotta get the blood flowing again. But then again, I can always see later on down the line, they can say, okay, let's take it away or down it down to where we can actually start somewhat closing the faucet. Let me go ahead and take this to Jay, and I'm gonna ask the females this question. Jay, you and Irene are both two level women. Y'all have had your time. If you know a young female, and I want you both women to think about this, and actually I will ask everybody this. For the females, ladies first. You got something going on in the background. If you have a young female and you know that she's down on her luck, and she's like, listen, I got my coochie selling card. I'm about to make some money. Would you honestly talk her out of it, or are you like, you know what? Just be safe out there. Make sure you're on birth control and go. Make sure you do it the right way.
I would tell a young single woman that regardless.
So,
to be honest,
I mean, but I'm saying if she says she's going to go, hey, I'm going to go make this money.
Then I would say, like I said, I think my answer would be the same either or. So you're saying assuming prostitution was legal, right?
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys are interested in more microscope videos, because like, look at that. That's my freaking eyebrow. What in the?
I'll meet her. Okay. Go ahead.
I would tell a young woman that either way, to be safe and protect yourself. And as far as the prostitution thing is concerned, I would probably just say, be careful, get in and get out kind of thing.
Okay. So don't make it long term.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and take it to Da Vinci. I haven't heard him in a while. Da Vinci, are you there? Da Vinci?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now, Da Vinci, you might have a few young brothers or probably like a little guy that you're talking to, and he's like, hey man, like you start seeing with some money, he has a pretty good come up, and you find out he tells you like, hey, like I'm out here in these streets doing me. I got to make this money. I mean, that other job wasn't making enough money. Would you honestly tell him that he needs to stop doing that? Or would you just tell him like, hey, like, do you, man, you grown, just be safe out there. I'm leaving it up to you.
Number one, I tell him, what, make it work, advance yourself. But the streets ain't the answer. You know what I'm saying? On a real deal, the streets are not the answer whatsoever. And also, I think that we really got to look at the history of prostitution. Back in the day when actually prostitution, the fathers sat there and pimped their daughters out.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I mean when I talk about, how it degrades moral values. I mean, a couple of a few generations down the line, that will happen.
Was this in America?
In New York.
But that's what it's going. But listen, okay, check this out. All right, they still do it today in the Middle East. in Africa and a lot of third world countries.
Yeah.
All right, they even do it here in the United States with prearranged marriages and stuff like that, right? So then what they're doing is they're treating a woman as being a commodity. For me personally, that's wrong. That's a human being. It may not got a dick, may not got a dick, got tits and ass, but that's a fucking human being. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? I'm not triggered or anything like that,
You
but
fine with that? You fine with that, brother? I'm not sweating you. This is an
yeah.
open. This is open. This is open dialogue. I mean, we got a whole sanctified Christian on here. We got Irene. So, I mean,
Right.
I'm a back.
You know, and it really, it
I'm a
really.
Did you say my name?
I'm a Satanist.
No,
But
Irene.
hey, you know,
I pray.
different strokes for different
You're
folks. I mean, your salvation is your salvation. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop anybody from sitting there doing what they choose to do. To me, be personally, I say if you go like an alpha male, beta male, I'll say there's your alpha woman, upstanding beta woman. But if you sit there and you look,
Can you be Can there be an alpha woman? I didn't think there could be an alpha woman.
yeah,
Yes, there is alpha women out there.
How the hell is an alpha woman? An alpha woman can't be no alpha.
Independent women who are not virgins and they go to college.
Goddamn,
They go to college and they like control. They like control. They go to college and they saying I'm independent.
Well, alpha female is a female that that other females look up to.
You don't play around. I've been in their houses. I know who they are. They try to get me. They always say, "You want to get married?" I said, "No, I'm not getting married to you. You ain't trapping me."
Well, it depends on the culture, but typically an alpha female is a female that that leads other females.
Like those church mothers and shit.
You talking about madam?
Yeah,
madam.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a person with a strong personality. You know, depending on the community. Like sometimes it's the most feminine woman that's the alpha. But once again, that depends on the culture.
Yeah, we don't got a lot of them. We don't got a lot of them where we're at. Well, yeah, we do. They
I want to ask you something.
Irene, are you there? She's probably back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I know you. I know you putting on your PBS tapes for the kids. So, and Irene is a very good person, y'all. I know I joke with her. She has some pretty good content. It's very convicting. I be trying to go over there and troll, but they don't take me serious enough anymore. Like that. So I have to get. I want to have Bible debates. I feel like I would win. They just afraid of me.
Hey, what happened to your other channel?
Absolutely not.
You said what happened to your main channel? What happened?
No, YouTube. I had to go over that. Why YouTube? For a lot of you guys with YouTube, y'all need to be careful. I might want to start taking some of y'all videos and switching them up because y'all better thank the liberal named Carlos Migaza, whatever. Because of him, some of y'all might need to look at leaving YouTube and going elsewhere with your content because that stuff ain't gonna work. Different types of radical talking points is seen as extremists. Me, I am a black conservative Christian. And my stuff. Me and Jay, a lot of our content. Jay, how many times have our shows been shut down? Like
at least 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. So nowadays we have so many channels now. They can't. They just like fuck it.
Well, what could you possibly talk about that I talk about on my pages and stuff? I have over 500 videos per Martha's Knowledge, right? And I just now got one notification stating that they pulled down whites versus black, right? And it had nothing to do with whites versus black. If
people report you, that's all.
Oh, so people can actually report you on a YouTube and just get the channel.
Yes.
I try to report Irene all the time so that way I can get more subscribers.
Right. I report Joe every day. Anyway.
So
wrap it up, Joe.
Yep, roger that, Chief. So Irene, let's say Irene has a school of gifted young girls and one of the girls can't pay tuition. But however, she's making tuition money by selling her body. Irene, could you honestly be mad at that young female because now that she's making money and she's able to keep up with tuition, is that really a wrong move for her because she's being independent and, you know, making money? Or would you tell her like, yo, you don't need to be doing that?
Well, I would just be heartbroken in that situation. And I would definitely, try to sympathize with her like as a woman and talk to her like as a woman, how I know that must be for her. and I would really hope that I would have the money to help her, or that I would have another option for her, because it's easy to go to a woman, especially when you're a woman, and talk to them, because we really know what that has to be like for other women. But if you don't have an exit strategy or something to replace that, you know, you're essentially saying starve. Do you know what I mean? So I would hope if I were ever in that position, I would have something to offer to help that person, other than, pointing out the obvious, which I know that this is probably something you don't want to do. I know that's not a good feeling to have like multiple penises inside of you, or deal with men that you don't even like, or that might gross you out. Like, I want to be able to say something more than that. Like, I understand all that. Like, now here is another option that you can get on right now. So that's what I would have to say to that. But I hope I'm never in that position, because that would like literally break my heart.
You probably, you're a crybaby, so you're gonna cry if you find out one.
I would probably cry. I mean, I probably would cry, because I just think, like, when I think of sex workers, both male and female and children, like, I just, the fact that anybody can delude themselves to think that that's a happy life is like crazy to me. I think maybe when you're not a sex worker, you're thinking, man, I'd love to have a lot of sex. It's not the same thing picking a partner that you like, and that you enjoy, and having to engage just random people, like whoever's got the cash. Especially not for a woman. Like, our bodies aren't even designed for that. And of course the men, like being penetrated up the butt, like who wants to do that several times a day? Like, nobody wants that for themselves.
He does it all the time. He has sex with
What'd you say?
Mario's a gigolo.
I don't know who that is, but
the dude right here.
What I'll say is, no, and of course there's always an exception to the rule, but I just think most people don't want that for themselves. And that, I think a lot of times people who have lust want to see sex work through a lustful eye, versus these are human beings, and nobody should have to allow themselves to be penetrated so that they can have food in their mouth. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. That's just not selling human beings is not okay. Let me just say that. It's not okay to sell people.
Okay.
Well, you're selling their function. You're not really selling a person.
I mean,
yes.
I mean, maybe sex is different for men than women. I think when you are penetrated, I think if a man is penetrated, he will understand what that means. And then maybe men will look at sex differently.
Why is it always got to get penetrated for us?
Because I think that's the more invasive of the two activities. So I think when heterosexual men have sex, on some level, they recognize sex is different for men than women, right? That's why they don't really like their women sleeping with other men, or that's such a big thing to them. Lots of sexual partners and things. But I think if a man is penetrated, then he can put himself in the mind space of, not that I want this to happen to anybody, but you could put yourself in the mind space of, imagine if I had to do that 10 or 20 or 30 times a day. And then it would be very clear that that's not something that's right or healthy. But it is selling a body. You can call it temporarily renting a body. Like, what is done with the body is irrelevant, right? Whether the body is being sold to build a house, whether the body is being sold to pick cotton, whether the body is being sold for sex, which that was a part of slavery, right?
How'd you get legalization of sex to goddamn slave cotton field?
I'm just saying, like, it's not okay to sell people for any purpose. Like, people are not cars or houses or tissues or people are human beings. They're not.
Once again, Irene, you're not selling the person. You're not selling the person. You're selling their function temporarily.
Oh, well, tell that to the slaves that were sold for sex back in chattel slavery.
Okay, well, in that case, they own the person. However, in the case of prostitution, you are renting their function.
Okay, so renting and owning are okay. So you're going to play the rent or own game?
It's the difference.
So renting a person is better than owning a person?
It is the difference, but yes, especially when you're renting them with their consent.
Okay. Hang on.
I don't think renting people is okay either. Then
I have to wrap this.
I feel like people aren't commodities.
Hold on.
Just mute everybody's phone. Like,
okay, I gotta wrap
this is ridiculous.
Rent my function every day, Irene. My function is being rented every day.
But that's not the same thing. You
Okay,
renting your
I am about
skill
to
or
mute y'all,
something
guys.
like
I
that.
have to
She
go.
is renting her skill. She is renting
That's
her
not a
skill.
skill. A woman's vagina is not a skill.
Oh my
That's
God.
not a
Yes,
skill.
it is. Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. And
Game
a
changer.
man's
It's a
butthole
man's
is not a
labor.
skill. A
Mute
man's
like a
their
man's
butthole is not a
labor.
skill
phones, Joe.
either.
Mute their phones.
Okay, listen, everybody, calm yourself, please. I got to wrap up the show. I would like to request, if Irene or Game Changer would like to, I will come over to your channel and I can bring Mario, who is a gigolo. Mario, would you like to go over to their channel also?
Just invite me. That's it.
And we can talk about this. I worked
Don't invite
over
me
girls.
because Jay gonna get mad and go
Jay,
to sleep.
yes, you can't go. But I wouldn't mind us going. Da Vinci, if you want to come, I have to go. I have to go cook dinner for my kids. I am still a parent at the end of the day. All
Me
right,
too.
guys. All right. Yes, you too. And so is Irene. Now, you guys, I'm encouraging y'all. The story is in the bottom with the two articles. One is from a feminist and one is from CBS News. So I didn't grab it from CNN or Fox. I grabbed it from CBS. So I grabbed it from a neutral space. I'm encouraging you two, Game Changer and Irene, to both talk about this. And I would love to come over there and just participate and just support you guys. You guys, whatever y'all choose to do for people, please be safe about this. I was a child prostitute. I was forced to do this. I was sodomized. I was touched by women. After a while, you mentally tune yourself out. So I agree with Irene. Some people don't have a choice. We never talk about child prostitution because that's a pretty gritty topic. I will talk about that another time. However, when it comes to the adults, a lot of adults, they choose to participate in this type of activity. They make choices. And yes, some women and men don't know any other way out of this. They're like, yo, it is what it is. I make money. And it's too quick of a money. So you guys, it's going to be up to our best to choose how this is going to work out. I agree with everybody's talking points, and I'm glad that we could do this. Let's be able to take from this. Again, if you want to do the articles, they're in the description below. I'm gonna grab their channels, Game Changers channel, Irene's channel, and I'm gonna put them in the bottom, and also Mario's channel. And I'm gonna put them in the description below. Please go to their channels, support them. I'm gonna take this video and put it on my main channel so that way the channel can still keep going. Thank you guys. We just hit, I think, 12,700 subscribers today. Let's keep it going. I want to hit 13K before the end of this month. Hopefully, if Google will leave me the fuck alone for once. I'm seeing you guys later. Let me go feed my kids. I'm Joe from BMT, along with the beautiful Irene, along with the amazing intellectual Game Changer, along with the zany and intellectual Mario, the Gigolo, as I like to call him, with lovely Lady J, my co-host, and my guest of honor, Da Vinci. We're signing off. Peace. Good night, guys.
Peace.